Oh, goodness. I mean, prime ministers have survived far worse than this. During the Second World War, Churchill, who we know now was a great national hero, had 4 different votes of confidence against him that were called by members of his own party, because basically they didn't want us to win the war. They wanted to appease Hitler, and that was at that time still quite a respectable point of view. Boris has survived, and I'm sure he's not only feeling relieved, Alex, and he looked relieved in cabinet, but probably rather pleased, because under the current rules, there can't be another challenge like that for a minimum of 12 months. And that then starts to get us rather closer to the next general election. Between now and the general election, which will probably be in 2024, I would guess summer of 2024, there's a lot of work to do. And much of that work hasn't been mentioned. I listened carefully to the commentary there, but I think it's worth reflecting. The national insurance rates, the NIC's contribution rates will stay high, but actually in July, the people on £12,000 a year approximately or less will no longer be paying them. So that will be a big help to people on low wages or low income households. I think that's going to relieve a lot of the pressure. The announcements will be made in September about what's happening to pensions. And I and many millions of people are expecting something like an 8 to 9% increase next April. I think that's going to relieve some of that pressure. But bear in mind, I think what needs doing, I think what Boris and the cabinet need to do is to get a grip on some of those issues, often involving public sector workers that are affecting us. For example, not being able to get an appointment at your GPs. And when you do get an appointment, it's not face-to-face. The rail strikes that are happening in London and some other parts of the country, which are affecting even people going to school, for example, and doing exams. The problems at the airports. There's a sense in which, this is nothing to do with the government, but the government can put pressure on those private sector employers to make sure they don't offer holidays that they then have to cancel. That kind of thing is outrageous. And if it continues, that I think will affect overall the government's standing and will be much more of a problem when we get to the general election.